Hey guys, what's going on? Just finally got this turbo install and the intake completed here on the 2023 WRX, and this turned into a little bit bigger of a project than I anticipated. Of course, that's with everything, like when I did the STI trans swap, turned into a bit bigger project. So this is all done. It's just, trying to finagle everything to fit properly and get lined up and go back together. And the biggest issue I had was getting the Grimspeed headers back on. I was having a hard time getting the studs to line up to go thread into the turbo, so I had to use a pry bar and kind of push it towards the passenger side a little bit, and then get the studs in and tighten them down. For those that have done the headers, you can't just install the studs first and then put the headers on, because they won't go on to the bolts up there onto the engine. So what you have to do is lift the headers up. I put like one nut on the stud up there, and then just let it hang, and then slide the gasket up in there, and then you have to put the studs in. You got the two down there, and then one up through there by the oil pan, and then that bolts over the heat shield that goes up and over the top of the turbo, and then it bolts to the front here with the 10 millimeter bolt. And then in order to get all these stainless steel lines and the fittings to fit, you have to trim down the whole side of this heat shield, because it kind of covers over more towards the left. So I had to cut a chunk of it out with a Dremel, and then filed it down, got that all cleaned up for a nice fit there. And then here's your other turbo bracket up there, so that's got to come off, and then comes down onto the top of this to the down pipe, and then that bracket goes across there. And the easiest way to get this down pipe off as well is to take the bottom nut and stud off there, and then as long with that one, and then you could have enough room to get that bracket off, and then the down pipe kind of just comes off, and then the turbo kind of lowers down a bit, so then you have enough clearance up there to get it to come off. But kind of a pain, and then especially getting everything back together. So I just finished doing a heat cycle on the car here. Let it warm up close to operating temperature, I think about 180 degrees. Fresh oil change on it. I drained the oil out before I did it. Of course, I used the AMSOIL Signature Series 530 for it. I've been running that since breaking on the car. And other than that, I mean, it's just time consuming. Like I said, getting the turbo back up there, and biggest thing was trying to figure out the routing of all these stainless steel lines. It's kind of hard to see it now with everything back together, but just the routing where the lines kind of go up and attach to everything. So just trying to figure that routing out so they don't get kinked or anything like that. And another thing I will show you is, where's it at? Let's see here. All right, it's kind of hard to see it because it's blocked, but there's this hose right here. Comes off this metal line here, comes down, and then it goes into the rear stainless steel line. I'm sorry, it's hard to see it or get film in here because everything's back together. It's super tight in here. But there's the barbed end of this stainless hose that goes into this rubber one here. So the original rubber hose that was on here, when I tried to reuse it to go into the stainless line, it didn't have this curve in it, and it kinked. And I tried to cut it shorter, tried other hose, and no matter what, trying to run this down and then over, it kept kinking the hose. So what I did is I was able to use this one for those that have done the parent turbo inlet, when you have to use that plastic fitting and then connect the rubber hoses to it to tie that coolant line from two lines into one, and then where it goes into the turbo. So that one other smaller hose that was on the other end of that plastic piece where they connect together, I took this one off because it had a curve in it. So that worked perfect to put that on there. But of course, when I had to pull it off of there real quick because I had the hose pinchers, I lost a bunch of coolant. So I had to burp the radiator, put more coolant in it, but that's all done. Didn't seem like there was too much air in it, but you have this hose here, then it goes on the back side. Then I have the Turbo Smart compact plumb back diverter valve up there. All that. So this is the BCP intake here, and the clearance on this is really tight. I did have to cut a little piece of this plastic off of here, so it's still kind of hitting it a little bit, but had to kind of cut that for that pipe to go through. So this, like I said, this thing's huge, like you saw in the video I did last night. So I did let this run up to operating temperature. I got the base map installed on the access port from Clark Turner. So I got to go out here just about out of fuel on this thing too. So I got to go, because I had E85 in it, I'm going to have to put 91 octane in it. Go get some data logs for Clark, and then get this ball rolling for the E-tune on it. What else am I... see if there's anything else I need to go over, but then you have your other lines that go up onto the top of the pipe here. Lighting's horrible in here. There you can see a little bit better for this piece that goes up to the AOS, and then the other rubber hose there, and then the ETS for the front mount intercooler. That was no issues going back onto the BCP turbo here, and then that pipe going up there. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, like I said, it's just very time consuming trying to get all this back together, get everything lined up correctly, get the hoses routed. And then once I did run a heat cycle on this, there was quite a bit of smoke coming off the turbo just from all the oils burning off and everything else. So I think it was about a couple minutes for all that to burn off, and it was good. And BCP on their website, they don't have like full install instructions. They just have some guidelines to go by, and the biggest one they have is that kind of shows how to route the oil and coolant lines for the stainless hoses and all that, to make sure they don't get kinked up or route the wrong way. But no leaks on anything. It's all good. And I will mention the Veris Engineering engine mounts with the 90A durameters. Man, I could even feel this thing even with the starter turning over when I was priming the system. It was shaking the car. So and even on the cold start, it was shaking the floor of the car and the cabin pretty good. So I guess I'll find out here when I go for a drive, go to the gas station to see how bad the NVH is going to be with those. If anything, I guess I can always change them out to the 80A durameters, which are a little bit softer. They're the middle. They come with 70A, 80, and 90A, so I might have to go to 80. So that'll be another fun project then, to take all this back apart, swap out the bushings on the engine mounts, but I'll see how they are once I drive the car. I'll go up here on top, show you the intake and some other stuff on it. All right, so then I'm running, of course, aftermarket Mishimoto radiator. Haven't had any issues with this. Been running it for several years. I know a lot of people knock on the company, but it's like the radiator core on this is a lot thicker than the OEM one. Being here in Arizona helps keep the car a bit cooler. And then I got the Perrin coolant overflow mounted up down there. And let's see here. So I did try using the ETS box to go back over this air filter, but unfortunately this is just too big and sits up too high. The box went back over it, but there's like that much of a gap where I couldn't even get the bolts or anything to go back in since it was hitting on the top of it. So no box gonna be going back on it. It's just gonna have to stay open like that. So I'll also have to see how much dirtier it'll get, or how bad the heat soak will be on it. But everything mounted up really good on that. The angle it sits right there, there's plenty of clearance in there. It doesn't hit or rub on anything at all. And then you can see the ETS for the front mount for the piping right there goes behind it, clears it with no problems. So that's all good fit there. And anything else, can't really see much from the top because everything with the fan being back on and everything back together down there. So other than that, guys, glad this project is over and everything's done. And I will probably do another follow-up video after I go drive it some, get the E-tune completed, and then see what Clark comes up with for wheel horsepower and torque on this. And hopefully there's no issues with anything. I also did check the where that green sticker is, the Nostrum high pressure fuel pump. Also checked that, make sure there's no leaks or anything from that, so that one's all good. So gonna go run to the gas station here, go do some data logs for Clark, and then like I said, I'll do another follow-up once all the tuning's complete, and let you know if there's any issues, or it's my final thoughts on everything for that, and then see where the power ends up being for the car. So after this video, guys, there's probably not going to be much more of any parts or any installs going on the car. So like I said, I'm done with everything I wanted to do to this, besides ARP head studs, which is a bigger project, which might not be until next year or something. So if you guys have any questions on this, go ahead and let me know.